Good morning, everybody. My name is Larry Jacobs. This is Pre-K-12 Education Talk Radio, and it is the day after Valentine's Day 2024, so I hope you had a good one. It's February 15th, obviously, just in case you didn't know that. And thanks so much for being with us today. Got a show for you today. We're going to take a visit to suburban St. Louis, to St. Anne, Missouri, and we're going to meet a wonderful reading specialist over at Holman Middle School in the Pattonville. She's going to explain it to me, Pattonville School District. Okay, we're going to find out why it's called Pattonville. So, Trina, get ready. We're going to talk to Trina Cornell. Trina is the author of a recent article that appeared in District Administration Magazine, an excellent magazine for superintendents and leaders, school leaders, district leaders, etc. 5 ways leaders, this is the name of the article, can help teachers inspire students to love reading. And again, Trina is a reading specialist. I want to thank my good friends over at Discovery for finding Trina for me and letting me know about the article. And so I'm so glad she's going to be on with us today. We're going to archive the show over at Ace. And by the way, my voice sounds funny because about 2 minutes before the show started, I started to have a sneezing fit. So I sneezed about 27 times. Okay, luckily that's done, but this is the remnants of it, so I apologize for that. We're going to archive the show over at ace-ed.org. And like we always do, all our podcasts are over there. That's the home website of our American Consortium for Equity and Education. So our magazine is over there, which is called Equity and Access. It's a nice online journal. I hope you take a minute to go over there and read it, enjoy it. And we also have our Equity Awards program, which I hope you get interested in. We're very proud of what we do in all regards regarding equity and education. And so that's what we do over at ace-ed.org, and everything's free over there. So please go over, check it out, and enjoy it. Now let me say good morning to Trina Cornell. Trina, my name's Larry Jacobs. Call me Larry. How you doing?
I'm doing great today. How are you doing?
Well, I am just fine. Okay, so tell me how come you're in St. Anne, Missouri, and it's the Pattonville School District? How come it's not the St. Anne School District? There you go. Let's start there.
I know, right? Well,
yeah, so
it's interesting
Patton?
here. Pattonville is it's a community district. Here in St. Louis County, we have community districts. So the community, I mean, we live in St. Anne. The kids live in St. Anne, but it's called the Pattonville School District. And there are probably 30-plus school districts within St. Louis County. So we are in the northern part. Yes, yep. We are in the northern part of St. Louis County.
It's interesting because, so all the kids in Pattonville live in St. Anne? That's a good question.
Yes, they live in 2 communities, actually. They live in St. Anne, and they also live in a neighboring community called Bridgeton.
Well,
so
I live in Maine, very close to a community called Bridgeton. So there you go.
Okay,
there you go.
That's awesome.
Okay, good enough. Okay, how long have you been a reading specialist over at Holman Middle School?
I have been a reading specialist at Holman for the last 8 years, and I've been in education for the last 17 years. So I've done a lot of things in a lot of different states, but I've landed in St. Louis teaching reading, and I love it. I wouldn't do anything else.
What other states were you in, since you brought it up?
Well, I started off in Arkansas before I went to college at Harding University. So I spent 3 years teaching English and English and science in Arkansas. Then I moved back to Tennessee. I'm from Tennessee. So I moved back to be closer to my family, and I taught math there for a year. And then in all that process, I met my husband, who is from up here in St. Louis, and he transplanted me up here, and I've been up here ever since.
And you are a transplant, but you have a very interesting background because you are a reading specialist. So far, you've taught science and math. Okay, and
science, math, and ELA, and I've taught social studies there for a little bit too. So I've taught all the core subjects at some point in my career.
That's amazing, and I congratulate you on that. How'd you wind up teaching math? That's amazing. Then going into reading specialty. That's wow. What were you trained? I'm kind of curious now. What were you trained as?
I know it's all the things, right? So, so when I went to college, my degree was in middle school education. And in the state of Arkansas, when I took the practice test, it certified me in all 4 core subjects: English, history, math, science. So
I didn't know that was possible.
All 4 of those. And then my master's degree is in reading. So that's where the reading piece comes in. So I'm the jack of all trades. I can do it all.
You really are. And I'm going to ask you a funny question. And by the way, my wife has a master's degree in reading too. Okay, so I know what you have to go through to get that. There you go. But I'm just curious. Okay, this is going to be a very funny question. Okay, you teach. Are you good at math?
You know,
how good are you? How good are you at math?
I wasn't the best. I wasn't the best in school, but my mother was a high school math teacher, so she was how I got through all my math classes.
Wow. Wow.
Yep.
That is funny.
She made me take the highest levels too. She wouldn't let me off. She was like, "You're taking math all 4 years, and you're going through calculus." I'm like, "Okay, Mom."
I would have done. I would have done a lot better in math if my father had been a math teacher. I can tell you that much. Wow. That's wow. I never knew that you could get certified in middle school education anywhere. I thought you had to have. I always thought you had everywhere. I thought you had a subject orientation, and I guess not. Because I guess like elementary education. Focus, why not? Yeah. You know.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
My degree focus was in English and social studies, but for the state of Arkansas, if you took the middle school praxis that had all 4 subjects in it and you passed all 4 subjects, they went ahead and certified you in the other 2.
I'll be good. Why not? Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? Why not? And that's why I taught science first year out of the gate. I had no idea what I was doing, but it was fun.
I taught social studies, and I can't even imagine me being a math teacher. I can't even. It's like the wild. That would be like I can't. I just could not do it. That's just amazing. Wow, I congratulate you on all this, and obviously you're a darn good reading specialist down there. And you wrote.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, it's cool. And we need. I mean, reading. Reading, writing, and arithmetic. And I always make the joke that reading is those are the 3 R's, but reading is the only one that actually begins with R. Okay? That's what's the first one, and it's the most important. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And,
exactly.
If you can't read, you can't do anything. Okay? You gotta be able to read.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It's that simple. All right. And that's across the board. Okay? Because everything's with the instruction manual. I can't even say enough about that. Everybody knows that. The crowd we're talking to certainly knows it. Okay, so you've been a reading specialist. So what prompted you? This is interesting. Okay, you wrote an article in District Administration Magazine. That's a darn good magazine.
I did.
And that is basically, it is. It's congratulations, and it's basically superintendents and their cabinets. Okay, it's district administration. Okay. So to get that article in there is pretty cool. You must have had some interesting experiences, okay, in St. Anne or wherever district you kind of referred to in your article. 5 Ways Leaders, and I have it linked here if people want to read it. It's a good article. 5 Ways Leaders. This is important. Can help teachers inspire students to love reading. Okay, and the first thing, and let me get the article here. I have it right here, for goodness sakes. I wanted to get to it. The first thing, Trina, that you wrote about is, and I thought this was interesting, ed tech options. Finding that this is the administrator's situation, to find the right ed tech options for your student population. Okay, go into a little detail on that, and that is their responsibility, but they need help to get the right products. And just talk about what you wrote about under that first category, finding the right ed tech options. Yeah, just let's go down the list and how administrators can help teachers inspire kids to read. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Well, administrators, they need to know their student population. The Pattonville School District, we are proud to say that we are the most diverse school district in the state of Missouri. We have all different types of students and levels, you name it, we've got it. So our district is very diverse, which means you need to find the right ed tech that's going to fit your population. And we had an outdated program that we used prior to DreamBox Reading Plus, which is what we use through Discovery Ed now. But our technology was moving, it was improving, it was upgrading, and the program was not. It just wasn't adapting to what we were using anymore. So it was outdated. The kids were bored with it. So we needed something new. So partnered with a friend of mine at another district who was using Dreambox Reading Plus at the time, and I went and observed her classes, and I brought it back to my district, and I said, this is what we need for our kids. Watching it in action in her class, we can do this here, and we can see success with it. So that's what I did, and we proposed it, and we've had it for the last 7-8 years, and our kids on average every year are seeing 2.5 years worth of growth in their comprehension. Wow. It's huge.
More important these days than ever. More important these days because they lost time with the pandemic everywhere.
Yes.
Okay.
The pandemic really kind of set us all back. Everybody's got gaps now, and we're seeing our caseload has expanded tremendously because of that. You know, there are more and more kids that need this support. And Dreambox Reading Plus, what we use, is so adaptable to everybody. The biggest thing, finding the right tech option, you want to find something that adapts to where the student is. You know, personalized learning is a big thing. It's a big thing here in Pattonville. We're very big proponents of it. And Dreambox Reading Plus is so great because it puts the kid where they are comfortably to start. So they feel success immediately, which is awesome. And then as they move through the program, it gets a little bit more challenging. It's a growth. You know, everybody grows at a different level. I have some kids that speed through it and do great and reach their level very quickly. And then I have some of those kids that, you know, take their time. And I love the way how adaptable it is in that way because it puts them right where they are in comprehension and vocabulary and helps them work toward achievable goals over a period of time. It's amazing.
My next question was going to be, what did you see there that got you? But you answered the question already, so I think that's great.
Well, hello.
Okay, so thank you very much for that. I'm literally going to ask you that. Okay, so that's what you saw. That's what's happening. That's what's working. Is Holman the only middle school in Pattonville?
It is not. We have a sister middle school, Pattonville Heights, and they use the same program as well.
And that's actually was going to be my question. Okay, as the kids go into, I have another question on this. As the kids go into high school, what about in the elementary schools? I don't know enough about Dreambox Reading, but do they use it in elementary, or do they start using it in middle school?
I believe they are using it grades 3 through 5 at the
cool.
elementary level currently, and they actually have come out with a new K2 version called Reading Park that can be implemented from kindergarten, first and second grade. So we're almost a K8 Reading Plus district, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah, that is pretty good. But there has to be my other question on that. And back when I was a teacher, which was the year 6, it was before the Greek Civil War in the Peloponnesian Wars. Okay, but you know, I was a history teacher. And none of us really, except for maybe the English teachers, and back then it was called English, not ELA, okay? But, okay, I'm not that old, but it seems like I'm that old, okay?
I know. My classes were called English too, so it's okay.
Yeah, exactly. But none of the teachers, and you were a math teacher, you were a science teacher, etc., none of us were really taught to understand that a lot of the kids have reading difficulties.
Yeah.
All right. Mm-hmm. You know, we just assigned reading as social studies, assumed they could read. Okay. Sure. But a lot of kids obviously were having troubles that we couldn't assess or we didn't even think about, you know, way back when.
Sure.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Thankfully that has changed. And, you know, and I'm curious with a product like, I don't want this to be an infomercial on Dreambox, but with Dreambox Reading Plus, and we're going to use it as an example. Okay. Mm-hmm. Are the other subject teachers, how do they relate to you in terms of the kids reading? Do they understand that this is important, it's important that they understand this too? The science teacher, the math teacher, the social studies teacher. How's the reading infiltrate the other subjects from your point of view? Oh, madam, a reading specialist. Yeah, you know what I'm asking here, I hope. Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
But what we see is we give assessments at the beginning of the year to just see where everybody is, you know, just to get a feel of where everybody's level is. And some kids do great. And, you know, coming out of summer, right out of the gate, you get a little rusty. So we got some kids that score a little low, but then they grow over the time. And you're like, yes, exactly. Yeah. So what we do is we look at those kids coming in, and we look at everybody, you know, where everybody's scores are. And the ELA teachers actually administer that test for us. So they administer that test. We get that data, and then we start combing through and saying, okay, who really needs this class? Who really needs some reading support? And then we start pulling those kids in. There are 3 reading specialists at my school, and we each have a case.
Wow,
our caseloads
good.
Combined, where there's 150 kids in all of our classes right now. So they see us for a dedicated 47 minutes a day in their schedule. Wow. So it's outside of their ELA class. So they have ELA, but they also have a reading class with me and my other people that work with me. And so they get that support. And I think the biggest thing they struggle with is they get those readers in there, and then they don't know what to do. You know, they're like, I have so many of them. The number of them now is overwhelming because of COVID and the gaps and things like that.
Yeah.
So they get really overwhelmed, and they come to us and say, okay, what can we do? What can we do? You know, and the biggest thing we encourage them to do is to use some of those tier 1 strategies, you know, where everybody gets support in what you're doing on the reading side as well. So that means leveled text, you know, give it to them at a level that they understand. Or, you know, doing those check-ins and check-outs. You know, we really try to support our ELA teachers at that tier 1 level, because reading is considered a tier 3 at our school, which means, you know, they've tried a few things at ELA, the child's not growing, so then they come to us and we start working with them. So we're really there to support ELA and just encourage them and say, you're doing all the things to support these kids. Don't get overwhelmed. We'll take care of the ones that need us the most.
How do the kids see reading? The kids who are struggling with reading, I know a lot of kids are good readers. They read a lot, okay? Mm-hmm. But for the kids you're dealing with, okay, and just an average kid, that's who we're dealing with here.
Sure.
Okay? You know, how do they see reading? And I know sometimes reading can be a struggle, but do they see the importance of reading? Do kids see that these days? You're a reading teacher. Yeah.
Exactly. I would say not at first. It's a visual
age. Everybody is, you know, you're on the screen all the time, and everybody's telling you everything. But we still got to read.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's
exactly.
A tough time.
You still got to make sense of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, and we see when they come into our classes, they don't want to be there, you know, because they know it's a struggle for them, and they don't, you know, they've not had the support they've needed, or they've had a gap, or they're from a new district and they've not been through ours where they've gotten the support, right?
Yeah.
So they come into our classes with kind of a negative attitude about it, and we really, as reading specialists, we try to start the year by laying the foundation. We just lay the foundation for those soft skills like perseverance, determination, you know, goal setting. You know, we talk about all those things, and we're like, this is what you need to do. Like this class is going to teach you how to do these things. And once you get to your grade level here in this class, it's going to, you know, we show them that it filters out into their other classes. You know, if you can read well in here, you're going to start understanding social studies a little more. You're going to start understanding science a little more, and math, and ELA, and all the things.
Thank you.
And you know, we really just make a point to say that no matter what you do in life, no matter what it is, you're going to have to read. You're going to have to understand what you're reading. You know, comprehension is a big thing. And that's what we're seeing with our kids is their vocabulary levels are close to grade level. Like they're right there at the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade level. They know the words, but their comprehension levels can be 3 and 4 years behind because they don't understand how to put it all together and make sense of it.
Wow.
And that's what we do is we work to bridge that gap between comprehension and vocabulary and really help those two come together. And when they do and their fluency is on point, then there's no stopping them.
Bridging the gap between, say that again, between comprehension and what was the other word? And
vocabulary. Mm-hmm.
And I never thought of it like
the word.
That's really what reading is. That's really what reading is. Bridging the gap, between comprehension and vocabulary. Okay, and putting it all together and having it make sense. Wow, I never heard anybody explain it, so that was excellent.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I mean it.
And it's also, I think, having strategies. So when you get into those situations where it doesn't make sense, what do you do? What do you do? Do you look at the words around it? Do you, pull up Google and Google what the meaning of a word is? What strategies do you use? And we try to teach them those too. Like, what do? You look around the word. You think about, we give them all the things they need so that when they get into those situations, maybe in a core class where they're like, I have no idea what this means, that they can do it themselves, and they don't just sit there and are like, I don't know what to do.
And by the time you're done with them, they get it. They understand how important it is and what they were missing. I mean, they were missing. You don't miss what you don't miss, what you don't know. But once you see it, all of a sudden, oh, wow, this is a whole world out there. I can do stuff. And it's really cool, interesting conversation. Number 4 in your article, which I found interesting. And again, it's about how administrators can help teachers. Okay, it said Trina is a middle school reading specialist over in St. Anne, Missouri. So number 4 was support teachers' fundraising efforts. Okay, and I thought that was kind of interesting. I'm just going to read the first sentence here. Middle school students, this is your words, tend to be extrinsically, I love that word, motivated by food. By the way, so am I. Yep. Chips, soda, candy. I'm like a middle schooler. You just described me. Okay, chips, soda, candy, all of the above. Unfortunately, all of these things cost money. Obviously, they do. And if there are multiple classes that you're teaching, that can add up. Put that fundraising. What are you using? I'll just say it again: chips, soda, candy. How are you using that? Where are you taking that? Go for it.
That is a great question. So, what I love about what we use with Dreambox is that it lends itself to challenges and competitions. My kids love a good competition. They love either competing against themselves or competing as a class against other classes. So what we do is we set up challenges. We give them a time frame. We give them a week and say, okay, it's your job this week to either level up, get to the next level of your reading level or your vocabulary level this week. And if you can do that, then these are the prizes you can win. You can win a bag of chips. You can win soda. You can win, you can win candy. I mean, and I'm telling you, you put that stuff out in front of middle schoolers and they eat it up. I'm telling you, I have at least 90% of my kids, when I put a challenge in front of them.
That's funny. Yeah,
they literally eat it up. You are correct.
Yeah.
So that's why it gets costly, because our kids just love it. And what they don't realize is they're working toward that snack or those sodas, but at the same time they're getting better at reading. It's a win-win situation. They get something for improving and goal setting and meeting their goals, and that's empowering to them. They love it. And they love prize day when I pull them up and they get to pick their chips and soda and whatever other prizes they won. They love it. They eat it up, like you said.
That is funny. And I'm going to read this. At home in your school, the reading team had 3 donors choose projects. This is interesting, everybody. Get completely funded. And you guys won $1,500 in grant money from local organizations that support. So obviously the administrator said, okay, go with this. Okay, what did you have to do this?
Fully supportive.
I would hope so, and I think it's great. You got the grant money from like Rotary Club or whatever. How did you win it? The
$1,500 came from our local Missouri Retired Teachers Association.
Oh, nice.
They're always looking to fund projects within schools, and Holman there's a lot of people at my school that apply for these funds. So we decided we would do a grant for prizes. We would do a grant for books, to get new books into our classrooms, and also do a grant for supplies, all the things we use to print awards and to sticky notes and Sharpies and things like that. And we put all 3 of them out there, and we won them all. It was just crazy. We were hoping to maybe get 1, but we got all 3.
That's fun.
So it was great.
Fun. That's great. Congratulations. Okay, the reading team. All right. And the last one I want to go over with you, and I like this. Again, we're talking to Trina, but she was talking to administrators in her article. Number 5, support teachers in taking risks. Now, I like that, okay? And you wrote here, administrators can help teachers get out of their comfort zones by creating a safe space to try, make mistakes, learn from them, etc. Give an example of what happens. How's it all working out over at Holman?
Well,
the district. And I want to give credit to the district. I want to give credit to the Pattonville district, too, not just your Holman administrators. But
yes.
Yes.
Yes, it's really been the
point.
top down, just a really big push for personalized learning over the last 5 years or so. And our administration, our upper administration, and our principals really gave us the space and said, hey, this is one of our school standards that we're going to work toward, one of our goals, that for your professional learning. And they basically said, try whatever you're comfortable with, and be okay with failure, be okay with it not working, and be ready to try something else. And adopting this program and what we've been doing with it kind of fell into that. We differentiated our seating so that kids could sit in comfortable places. We have couches and beanbags and rugs and things like that where we can sit.
Good.
We allow students time to just learn, set their own schedule. Like, we have routines, but within that time space, they choose how they do that. They choose to do their lessons first, or to read their book first, or to do X, Y, Z. So they have a lot of choice and voice in our classes. So we were able to try those things. We tried a lot of things. A lot of things didn't work, but we found a lot of things that worked well. And our principals and our upper administration were all for it. And they were all very supportive of us raising this money, because we have a budget. We have a reading budget, but it's, it would stretch us maybe a semester with what we want to do. So
the budgets are never enough. The budgets are never enough.
No.
Let me just
and we're always paying out of our pockets.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
I know
because
you do.
we love what we do. But one of my teammates, we had a new teammate last year, and she said, there's money out there. Let's go find it. So she was kind of spearheading this Donors Choose and the MRTA grants, and we ended up with a lot of money to be able to spend this year, which has been amazing, and it's really benefited our kids in so many awesome ways.
I think that's wonderful, and to be allowed to do it. Again, teachers are top flight professionals, but they got to report to somebody. Somebody else on top of them is in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and for those people, and it's important for those people. They come out of education. They all come out of the classroom. They need to go to that as they work their schools and work their districts, and make sure that the teachers have everything they need. This was a good article and great conversation, Trina. Thank you. Okay? This is just terrific. I appreciate you kidding me. It was a blast. You're terrific. Okay? Continued good fortune. Thank you. You're really good at what you do. Okay? You're really good at what you do.
I appreciate that.
Thank you. Well, thank you for being here. You have a great day. Enjoy.
I will.
You got a vacation. Much. You have a vacation day Monday, right?
I do. I mean, you ask any teacher when Martin Luther King Day and President's Day are, and they know. They know when the next day is off. So, yes.
There you go. Have a
Looking
good
forward to
long
my long weekend.
Have a great one. Thanks, Trina.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Oh, thank you. Bye-bye. Wow. Nice teacher. Nice. Yeah. She's reflecting off a lot of teachers. Okay. And by the way, Missouri had a bad day yesterday with the shooting at the Kansas City Chiefs victory parade. And we wish everybody over there the best. All right. We really do. Just bad. It's bad any day, but it's so much worse during a big celebration like that. What can I tell you? Yeah, we're going to archive the show over at ace-ed.org. Please go over, check out everything we do over there. Trina, thank you so much. Everybody have a good day.